Welcome to episode 68. This week's special guest is Eleanor. We discuss Green Day and Bring Me the Horizon gigs, rescuing cats, riding horses, horror movies, being a model and a photographer. Enjoy. Welcome back. This is episode 68, and we have a very special guest with us today. Eleanor, how are you?
I'm okay, thank you, Kevin. How are you?
Very good, very good. This is your video's gone fuzzy all of a sudden. Can you hear us all right?
I don't know. The Wi-Fi is usually quite good in here, considering I live in the countryside. Am I still
probably
fuzzy?
look good after, Kev. Remember all our early mishaps?
Yeah, I was just concerned there for a second. Sorry, bit of a weird start.
Okay, is it? Yes? No?
It's okay. Sometimes it might go blurry, but that's just for us. When it renders at the end, it'll all be fine. But your room looks really cool, as I was just saying a minute ago.
Thank you very much.
Good intro, Kev.
Well, that's it. Yeah, I know. Fucking weird, isn't it? But most of our guests come on. I'm not slating most of our guests, but it's usually in a dark room or a white wall, or it looks like you've paid attention to your background.
Funky house. It's a funky house.
Yeah, even James's background is just pure white. Where's your neons? I thought you were going to get something funky in there.
All right, Kev, give me a break. Sit somewhere else if you want.
Yeah, go on then. Sit in the toilet. So just to intro everyone to who Eleanor is and why she's on here, it's literally because I think she's fantastic. She's a good friend, and I met Eleanor, 2019? And if you've listened to previous episodes with Saoirse and Liv, I met them all the same time, same place at Cheshire Fashion Week, but with the added bonus of Eleanor actually liking some music that I do. So we've gone to some gigs and stuff as well. So that's always good. But the first gig we went to was Green Day, wasn't it?
It was, yes. And I didn't think when we were having a photo shoot together, we'd end up going all the way down to London together to see Green Day. That was just a bizarre thing to have come out of a initial meeting as a photographer and a model.
Oh yeah, because I forgot. I didn't really know you that well, did I? Because I met at a fashion show, photographing you multiple times, but it was just like normal chat. And then we decided to do a proper photo shoot at your place. And then from there, you were listening to like loads of emo stuff on your phone or something when I walked in.
Possibly.
Is that right?
Sounds accurate, yes.
Something made me click. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to Green Day. And I think Green Day tickets were like 50 quid or something. And you weren't
Not
too
really
sure.
were.
And then like...
Not
God, those sort of days, 50 quid.
Yeah, but the thing is that, that's what the price could have paid. And then it was like last minute, you paid like 200 quid like the week before. Can I come?
It's worth it. It was worth it. I still say that is one of the best days of my life. Like, I'm going to find it hard to top that. It was so good. So good.
God, think how much better it would have been if Kev wasn't there.
I mean, he didn't get in any fights, so I think it was quite a good Kev day, to be fair.
Well done.
Yeah, I know.
Well done, Kev.
Right.
Right. Sounds like you know me or something.
I mean, I didn't know.
You went to see Green Day. You went to Green Day this year again, though, didn't you?
Yes. Yeah, I had to think about that. Yeah, I did in June.
Where was that? Which venue?
Bella Houston Park in Glasgow. So my friend was meant to be
I didn't know that. You went to Glasgow?
Yeah, it was a bit of a trek, but my friend was meant to be going with her boyfriend and having like a, weekend away with it, and they broke up. So I got the ticket off the back of that, and it was really lovely. Not as good as the Helen Mega Tour. Don't tell her I said that, but it was still really, really good. Really good.
Amazing. Good news. A breakup. Get a ticket. Bonus.
Did you have anything to do with the breakup, knowing there was a ticket available?
I did not. I'd never even met the guy. It was actually one of those toxic relationships where she wasn't allowed to see her friends whilst with him. So hopefully he's not listening to this now. But yeah,
I doubt it very much.
I never met him.
We'll find him, get him to listen to it. So yeah, how? All right, I'm cautious of what you told me not to mention because of things. So I was going to say about where you are, but I can't. I'm not.
You can't say that. You can't go, oh, we were said not to mention something, and then just glaze over it like it never happened.
No, I just gave
At least
Kev,
make something up.
I just gave Kev a message just before, like, by the way, maybe not talk about where I live, because I've got a lot of followers on this streaming app who probably will be quite keen to find that information out. So I live my life very, very secretly. Very secretly.
All right, we don't tend to give out postcodes, but
I mean, that's good to
And
know.
what are they likely to
I
do?
can almost guarantee that someone would turn up on my doorstep.
really, how many? What is this on this Big O thing that Kev's just told me about?
Yeah, Bigo.
Big O.
Yeah, Bigo. Yeah,
Bigo.
it's
I've never heard of it.
Tell us what it is.
it's live streaming. So you know how like I don't have TikTok, but I've been told TikTok Live is a thing where you can stream and you can get paid for it. It's basically a competitor with TikTok, but I think with TikTok you've got to have X many thousands of followers to be paid for it, is my understanding. Whereas this is the same sort of thing but it's not follower based, it's gifting based. So you'll go live, you'll stream, you'll chat and what have you, and people will send you gifts. So I just want to put this in here, not to be confused with OnlyFans. No nudity. It's just like what we're doing now, chatting. Because I do get a little bit
Playing
concerned.
games and stuff.
I think it's a bit dodgy. I mean, it's rinsing men on the internet for gifts, so I suppose it is dodgy in that sense, but it's not naked dodgy.
I fully support that. Oh yeah, here's some people.
If you're going to gift me, I'm going to take it. You know, that's all I'm saying.
Well, it's going to be hard to find you because I'm sure you've got an alias and everything else as well.
I've got a different name, yes.
Yeah, so no one knows who we're on about here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was watching you doing your so also Eleanor does horse riding, or would you call it something else? Is it, what's the dancing? Horses?
Oh, dressage. Oh no, I'm not very good at. I've done my first ever dressage competition, but I wouldn't say I'm a dressage rider based off that. But yeah, I do ride horses. I do.
How's it going? Because I know you're learning.
I mean, you're always learning. To be fair, I don't have as many lessons as I used to, but like even like the top professionals in the world, like they will still have lessons every week, several days a week. Like it's weird. It's not like football where you kind of learn the rules and then you just kind of practice and get better. I don't know. It's with riding. There's always things to be learned and. It's weird. It's not like other sports. I can't really explain it. But yeah, I'm still riding, still having now and then lessons.
It's the show jumping and stuff like that as well. You do.
Well, I used to want to do it, but I've kind of lost the passion for it a little bit. I broke my pelvis coming off Jeeves, my horse. 2 years ago now, and I've never quite been right since. So that's why I've kind of gone down the dressage path, because it's less dangerous. Some may argue less fun, but less dangerous.
I take less fun and not a broken pelvis, so.
Yeah, honestly, it's actually one of Saoirse's friends who works in A&E, and she said the two things she would never do, having seen the messed up injuries that come in, are ride motorbikes and ride horses. Two things, if you want to break yourself, they're pretty good ways to go. Horses and motorbikes.
Yeah.
You ever been on a horse, Kev? Why are you thinking about it? Like, surely you should know.
Well, I used to work with horses. I'm trying to think if I'd sat on one, but I don't think I have.
You worked with horses?
I used to work at a rare breeds farm in Hampshire when I was younger, like a teenager, and it didn't have like loads of animals, but it had like 10 types of sheep, so it would have like a couple of each breed of sheep. A house of loads of chickens, but it would be like 20 different chickens, and it'd all be kind of weird shaped, fluffy, weird, strange things. And we had horses, and it's one of those things that as a boy, when you're younger, you don't think horses are very cool. They're very, I don't know, what's the word? Feminine, I guess. Like girls like horses, boys don't. And then you see a horse up front real, and then you realize, Jesus, these are powerful, dangerous animals. Even when they're nice, they're scary up close when they run. Like I
Yeah.
used to open up the gates to let them out in the field of an evening, and there'd just be this, not even the big ones, kind of like small grey ones, open up this door, and they would bolt and just go round in circles. It's like, if you got in the way of that, you're dead.
Yeah, galloping horses around a field is quite scary. I've been there before, and I just freeze and hope that they don't knock into me. I feel like that's the best approach. I don't really know though. There isn't a handbook for what to do when you're
Yeah,
surrounded by bolting horses.
I almost got knocked out by a cow once. I was I went to an agricultural college, so wanted to be a vet, and I didn't quite get the grades, so I went to like animal management, and there was this pen that had loads of cows in there, and the backs of them are above your head,
Yeah.
and I'm not sure, I'm not told, but I'm not sure. The backs were above my head, and then their head obviously higher. You don't realize how big cows are until you're right up against them. And the cow just turned around when I was scratching its back. It just turned its head round to say hello to me and clocked me in the side of the head, and it knocked me flying. And lucky I didn't get trampled by the cows. But yeah, like animals are dangerous and lovely. But yeah, I used to work with what's the big horses? Shire horses. So we had things like them. Have you been on one of those?
I've never ridden one, but you don't tend to like find them. Like you don't really like find many places where you have the opportunity to ride one. Like even in Cheshire, there's a Shire Horse Centre, but that's just like you can go and look at them. So I mean, if I had the opportunity to ride one, I'd love to because they're amazing. But I don't know anyone that owns one. There's none that are like part of schools where you can ride them. So I don't really know. Like, yeah,
Do
where
they
I'd ever...
not get involved in dressage? Because they're quite fancy horses.
I know
They're for pulling farm equipment, Kev.
they are
Good
plough
point.
horses.
But they are fancy looking. They look better than the average.
They I know the
I
ones.
can imagine you on one of them little Falabellas, from the 3 advert, the little tiny one. I can imagine you on back of one of them, Kev. Little set of chaps on, little cowboy hat, moonwalking.
Yeah, yeah. What? I wouldn't even be able to sit down on one of those, would I? They're tiny.
Oh,
Size
we
of
can
a
make it
dog.
work.
It's a weight ratio thing, so as long as you're within sort of 15% of the horse's weight, then you'd be okay. I don't know how much you weigh or how much one of those weighs, so I have to research that.
Well, I hope I'd weigh less than one of them. Yeah, no, thank you. But yeah, I mean, to go back to like how we first met, like it was through Cheshire Fashion Week and modeling, and you were highlighted very early on by other people because you're in like the newspaper. I don't know if you want to mention this or you want to stay away from that. I can delete that question if it's not. But I just thought that was really interesting because you're in the magazine or the papers beforehand.
Yeah,
Because you just recovered.
Oh, from my arthritis. I thought you were talking about photos that you'd done when I was also in the magazines again with your photos. But no, yeah. I was in the news a lot because I suppose still am chronically ill with arthritis, which is the least cool sounding disease ever, but turns out it is extremely painful and very aggressive, or at least it was in my case.
And how are you doing now, though?
I'm very lucky actually because I'm in remission, which a lot of people aren't. And it was one of those situations where because mine was so bad, I qualified for the kind of best medications out there. So if you've got a lot of people's arthritis might be like between a 1 and a 5 out of 10, and they'll be put on quite they're not very nice drugs because it's what it costs the NHS, isn't it? So they don't want to put everyone on the £9,000 drugs, which is what I was on, because cost really. So you've got to be like really top of the spectrum to qualify for these drugs, which I was. So it was like lucky but unlucky. So had it really, really bad. But then I'm fortunate that I know what remission is, whereas a lot of people won't, if that makes sense at all.
I suppose that's kind of good, the fact that you weren't, sounds horrible, but you get it bad enough to get the right response. If you kind of coasted it manageable but not comfortable for ages, then you might never have got those drugs.
Yeah, it's exactly that. So I'm just using this random like between 1 and 10 scale as an example, but if you were say between a 1 and a 5, you probably won't ever be put on drugs that are going to be strong enough to put you into remission. So you may live with that every day for the rest of your life in moderate pain. Whereas I lived for 2-3 years or so in extreme pain, but then it's ended. And I don't wake up and I don't have any pain at all. So it's a bit of a really weird would you rather game. Would you rather have low level pain for the rest of your life, or would you rather have extreme agonizing pain for a short period and not have it again? It's a very bad would you rather, but they're your options.
Yeah, you don't want it, but it's probably best overall, isn't it? Has that got any effect on like you breaking your pelvis or anything?
No, I broke the other
Does it
side.
weaken anything now?
Yeah, I broke.
Separate.
Thank God, I fell on the other side. So I've had my left hip replaced, but I broke the right side of my pelvis, which is really lucky because I feel like a break around an artificial joint would have been so complicated to fix. So I got quite lucky that I fell on the right side.
Jesus.
So
right. Just so you know as well, James is also a photographer. But like, there's only one person in this group who does photography as to get paid, gets a living. And that is you, because me and James do what would you say your things are, James? What's your main thing you shoot?
Started doing bands and then progressed into promo stuff, and then just kind of a bit of everything really. Just kind of do it as and when. If I feel like doing it, I will. If I don't, I don't, sort of thing.
Because you've done weddings as well, haven't you?
Yeah. I tend to, if there's something I want to do, I'll do it. Whereas if people ask me to do stuff, I tend to be like, I have to be excited about it.
Yeah,
that's it. And Eleanor is like professional wedding photographer and pet photographer, and she has her own studio, like full on massive studio.
Well, I do currently, although that's a different story because I'm currently moving studio, but story for a different day. But yeah, I do have a studio, and I will still have a studio, just a bit less massive because it was massive.
I was going to say, you could use something in your new place, surely. Use a room in there somewhere.
See, I'm not entirely, because people suggested that about like doing it, like in a shed or something, but like converting a shed. But I'm not sure. This is going to turn the podcast really boring. I'm not sure what the rules are on having a corporate premises in like your living area. Like it must be able to be done because people do it, but I think you can't just do it. You've got to get permission.
You can do that.
Higher body.
You got to get a license. Yeah, you got to get a license in it. I think it might change your tax bands and stuff like that, but it's possible. Might be cheaper overall though on the
that's
ownership or rent of
it was just so expensive. So I just needed somewhere a bit cheaper, really, because I'm doing like less and less in the studio and more outside. So events, corporate, horses. Yeah, just I'm not in the studio like I used to be.
What's your favorite stuff to photograph? Because I think a lot of people that, if they know you superficially, like Instagram or met you at Cheshire Fashion Week, they'll have no idea that you're a photographer, because a lot of people in our group, apart from your actual close friends, will just know you as kind of a model or Miss Cheshire?
Miss Northwest.
Miss Northwest, even bigger.
Even bigger. Well, hang on. I've forgot the question now.
Like, what's your favorite thing to photograph? Are you more into the pet stuff or the wedding stuff, or what's your kind of favorite place to?
I had answer lined up, and then I'm a little bit not a little bit. I have been diagnosed with ADHD, so sometimes my brain just doesn't take in what people are saying. So I nod and smile, and then I'm like,
Join the club.
I didn't hear that. So anyway, favorite things to do. It varies. So like I did an equine shoot earlier today, and I was like, oh, this is the best thing ever because the light was perfect. For anyone listening, we actually had a nice day in England today. It was magical. But then on Saturday I was shooting a wedding, and that was like just lovely, and I loved that. And then the day before I was in the studio all day, and I loved that. So I think I like that it's just something different every day. So it keeps it fresh, and I'm never going to be in monotony, which I think I wouldn't cope very well. Well, I know I wouldn't cope very well with.
That's a good answer. I like that. And James, have a look at this. This is good for the podcast on visual. Can you see that?
That's
all
a
right?
hand. All right, that's a cat and dog. That's cool.
That's my cat and my dog, and that is Eleanor's photos.
That's cool.
Took them separately and then
less exposed in real life.
Yeah, I'd been amazed if you got your animals to pose like that.
No, it looks like the cover of like Goodfellas, but an animal.
Looks like they're about to drop a rap album.
Yeah, I mean that is the coolest thing. It's about this big in a frame in my living room.
Aww.
Absolute beast. So happy about it. Still down there, still there. But yeah, I think one of the things as well, like James, we're talking. Basically, I photographed Eleanor quite multiple times, and we did. Do you remember this? You got told off's the wrong word, but you're scared about what I'm going to say now, aren't you?
I get told off a lot.
When we, I think I reckon you know where I'm going to go with this. But when we do a photo shoot, there's we usually have someone that's directing it. I'm just a photographer. I do as you know, you do the creative bits. You've got someone dressing them and telling them how to act, look, style, that type of thing. And Eleanor kept getting told off because she's too smiley. Like she was like, we can't use these photos. She's smiling in all of these because they wanted.
How dare you enjoy your job?
Serious, pouty photos.
I was in a wedding dress. You're supposed to be happy in a wedding dress. I was just doing it my way. I thought I should be smiley, so I ignored the instructions and I smiled. And each time they were like, "Stop!"
Yeah, nothing craves that happiness like a miserable bride.
Yeah,
really.
But they're great photos.
Was the right look for the shoot. I stand by that.
Yeah, 100%. And we got on the front cover of the magazine in Cheshire. Was it called Cheshire Live
Cheshire
or one of them?
Yeah, it was front cover
Cheshire
of Cheshire
Living.
Living, and it was inside Cheshire Life, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, it was quality.
Really cool.
People still
really
mention
cool.
that to me now and again.
Really cool.
And that was you and Michaela. I have asked Michaela to come on. I'm not sure if she listens or not because she does follow. Not. But she says it's not quite her medium.
She's a bit quieter, to be fair, isn't she? I think.
Yeah, no, she's fantastic. I did a photo shoot with her in Farndon. Oh, God. Got a tickly cough. It was really annoying. I did a photo shoot with her in Farndon, and it was and she really came out of her shell, and she was hilarious. She was really good fun. But yeah, I think she's a bit shyer than average. Definitely shyer than you, that's for sure.
Kev, just to pretty lightly touch on something earlier, which has put pay to any future plans we had of this happening.
What's that?
Falabella horses, and only little mini horses. Yeah, they range from about 70 to 80 kilos. So I think you're probably going to be like a bit too heavy for the little thing.
What does that mean? I can't be heavier than them.
No, you got to be within.
Obviously, you can't be heavier than them. No.
So, like for instance, my horse would be about 600 kilograms to take my weight. Because you got to be within.
These little horses' legs are only like that big.
But I'm close to 80 kilos.
No, exactly. So you basically weigh the same as a little fat horse.
You have to be 15%, like less than 15%. So you'd have to be like 10 kilograms.
Oh right. Oh, I thought you meant 15% off their weight. Like no, I could be 85 and be fine.
Like, yeah, so I don't know how much you weigh, but you'd need a horse around 600-700 kilograms, maybe. I don't know. I'm just
I think I'm about 80 to somewhere between 80 and
We
83.
need to get you on a strict diet, Kevin.
Of what?
Got a few.
Nothing.
few pounds
Absolutely nothing for
like
6 to 8
that.
months.
All right, what's your favourite horse then, James?
Falabella, I just told you. I love them little things.
I didn't know they're called Falabella. I've never heard that.
Yeah, I didn't Google that. I knew what they were called.
What's
So I got a poltergeist. My lights keep turning off and on.
Ooh,
I love them little mini horses. They make me laugh.
unbelievable? Where do they roam about in the wild?
What? Don't know about that. There's a couple down the road at the farm, though.
You're right in front of Google. Tell us. Tell us a
Where
story.
do they roam?
So angry without a beard.
Where are they found? Argentina. Happy
Right.
now?
I am.
Then it says distribution, Americas and Europe. So maybe you can order one.
Definitely. Well, you just said there's one round the corner from you.
They're Argentinians, so they won't understand you anyway.
There's a donkey sanctuary. Oh, they're not donkeys, are they? There's a donkey sanctuary down the bottom of my road.
Is there?
Well, they might be able to hook us up. You never know. They've probably got like skin in the game. They might know where to get one from.
Yeah. I'll have to put the picture up of the wedding dress shoot because that was quality. When I post this, I'll put that up as well because that was really good. Oh, also, can you see what's in the background? You might not recognise. I don't know.
What am
One
I
of your shitty photos.
This
A
bit.
photo?
Can you see?
You're pointing to something off screen,
Can
so I don't know if you can see a wider screen than I can.
Yeah, you're cropped out just after Dallas Green there.
Ah, are you on there?
There you go. That's a skull thing.
We couldn't see that before. Yes, that is.
Do you recognise it?
Horizon album cover for the tour that we went to. I've gotten better with my Ring the Horizon knowledge since I went. I don't just listen to the non-screen stuff now. I actually listen to all of it. It converted me.
Really?
Yes, really.
Even
really,
the first
really.
album? You're not listening to the first album.
Maybe not. Give me a song like a song that I would know off it, and I'll let you know.
Pray for Plagues.
No. Okay, right. I confess.
It
sounds a very positive message, Kev.
Ammo, so I don't just listen to Ammo anymore. That's good.
Okay, good. But Pray for Plagues sounds like like that a little bit.
That sounded like Tasmanian Devil. Remember him?
Yeah.
That was.
It's not far off.
Yeah, you did. We just need to exercise Kev now.
but that poltergeist
right,
has made its way through the screen.
Yeah, it's weird.
We'll
come back on in a minute.
Right, so that album, right? I bought that vinyl before we went to the gig. Do you know how long ago I bought this? I bought it to get pre-sale tickets for the gig we went to. And we went to the gig, over a year and a bit ago?
Yeah.
So I bought that over 18 months ago. It arrived 2 weeks ago.
No way. We don't worry
because they hadn't finished the album, and then they got rid of Jordan and had to re-record it, and it took another year.
What did Jordan play? Keyboards,
but he was.
They really have to re-record it because they're not just finding a keyboard player.
Writing and producing. He's the reason Ammo happened. The album Ammo happened because they brought him on and they became pop overnight because of Jordan. Because he didn't like metal, and they brought him on to bring a new sound, and he left on this album.
Oh.
And he's now with Poppy and another band.
Ammo. Sorry.
It's fine. It's good. It's not a bad album at all. I like it more. Like, a lot of people give it shit, but I think it's good. But the new album's brilliant.
Really. Do you know what video I used to like it as? Can you remember the video? Well, not remember. You won't forget it. The Shadow Moses video, which I'm pretty sure they filmed with a 3D camera. And rather than merging, they just flicked. The 3D camera's got two lenses there and there.
Yeah.
So they were just like flicking between them. Apparently, that's why it gave that whole like weird.
That shake.
That was quite a cool effect.
That's it, because he's always putting his hand out like that, isn't he? Goes.
I'm pretty sure that's how he did it.
What, have you listened to anything else that's heavy, Eleanor? That's not Green Day or
Don't
Bring Me
feel
the Horizon.
pressured into
No,
saying yes.
actually, I don't know if you count this as heavy.
Like, you like the music,
it's
but
like really, really screamy stuff. But actually, I'd never listened to them before. But then when we went to go and see Bring Me the Horizon and Bad Omens were supporting, since that I do listen to Bad Omens. I never had heard of them before, so that's opened up a door. But they're not really that heavy. I don't think not by your standards. But that's probably as heavy as I go.
no, but they're decent. I've not really listened to them properly, but I gave them a good listen before the gig. But James, have you listened to them? That's definitely your vibe, I would say.
Probably is. I've heard of them. Yeah. Let me have a look.
It's like
they've got quite a
it's
few
like
good
heavy
songs.
emo rock.
They are similar, I think, like in style to Bring Me the Horizon, but a bit more emo-y, like depressive emo rather than like
It's more singing.
I'm not a
music
person like Kev, so I've not got the right terminology, but they're a bit more like glorification of misery than Bring Me the Horizon, but similar.
Glorification of misery.
No, they're nothing on my playlist. There.
I'd like to listen to an album called Glorification of Misery.
Sounds
good.
There's got to be one out somewhere, isn't there? The stuff you listen to.
Unbelievable. Yeah. Nice. So we normally, this podcast is a little bit film and TV orientated, though we don't stick on it very much. Is there? You don't strike me as a person that goes to the cinema.
You called
What was the last thing you saw?
Mate, I think it was A Quiet Place, but not the new one. I've been to cinema in like years. But I am a horror girl.
Let's have
helped. That helps.
Okay.
Good, because I love horror at the moment.
What should we guess the year for A Quiet Place?
I can't remember if it was a
The original.
I think I don't.
2018.
Boom.
Is that right?
2018.
No,
that was a pure guess.
When did
I was going to say I thought it was longer ago, but last year. This year.
Yeah.
It was this year.
No, that was day one. That was the third one.
Oh, number two. Sorry, number two. That was 2020, right in the pandemic.
Mm.
So I wouldn't have gone to see that, would I? Because I'd have been in lockdown. God, I'm sure the last film I saw was Quiet Place. I don't know which one it was.
Great movie.
Yeah,
I saw Quiet Place too, but I don't think I saw it in the cinema. Maybe it didn't go to the cinema. Maybe it came straight to streaming because it was the pandemic.
Do you know what? I saw it pretty early on, and I definitely didn't go to the cinema to watch it. I'm pretty sure it came straight on Netflix.
Maybe, because it was only Tenet that came out in the cinema that year, pretty much. There really wasn't that much. So you like horror. What type of horror? Because that's quite a big spectrum there.
So I like paranormal stuff, but the problem is I've become quite like desensitized because I've watched so many scary things. I'm quite difficult to scare now, and so when I watch horror films with people and they're actually getting scared by them, I'm like, but it's not scary. I don't get it, and it's because I think I've just watched so many that. So if you have any recommendations of something that's actually like properly going to terrify me, then let me know, because I've lost that like hiding the face behind
I can definitely give you some recommendations that might shock you, but I think the whole fear effect has gone now. I think everyone's too desensitized, but I think, have you heard of the Terrifier movies? The third one's just about to come out. Everyone's talking about it at the moment.
I've not.
Basically, there's a film called The Terrifier, and they're quite B-rated movies. Like, sort of, they're a bit shit, if I'm honest. But the third one has got this big like cinema release, and they use like practical effects, so no special effects. All like the blood and that is all actually there, and they're more like gruesome. Like, you know how Saw's not really scary; it's just gross.
Yeah,
like a bit disgusting.
Yeah,
it's kind of like that, but on like another level, like almost like caricature, like ridiculousness. But it is vile. Apparently, several people left One person threw up. The actual main actor who plays the clown said he almost threw up filming one of the scenes. But they're there for more shock value. As far as scare goes,
I can't
I
think
don't know.
of
You
many.
don't really get like your Texas Chainsaw Massacres and that anymore, do you? That actually make you go, oh.
But I think you're in the same camp as us, that we love horror, but it won't scare us. It's just got to be interesting enough to qualify as a good horror. Like I'm not.
Yeah, that's another problem.
Rarely,
a lot of them. Yeah,
there might be the occasional jump scare, but it's not a jump scare really. It's just oh Christ, I'm fine now. But I just didn't expect that second.
Yeah,
but it's not going to.
I enjoy a jump scare still. Like Paranormal Activity, they'd be in the kitchen. You're like, which cupboard's going to fly open? And then like none of them do, and then something else happens. Like a bin falls over or something.
Yeah,
so you're just like having a heart attack the whole time. But scary wise, I mean,
I like the jumpy ones where I'm like, what's going to happen? But yeah,
I enjoy a jump scare.
I feel like Paranormal Activity, like
horrors in general, like
Paranormal Activity is quality.
No, I actually really like it, but it's like there's nothing that matches it really. I don't think. For me,
those ones where you don't. I like a horror where you don't see the bad thing, because then your brain works overtime and it's worse. Yeah. Seeing a violent thing isn't scary; it's just violent, and it's just that's interesting.
Nice, yeah.
But the Paranormal Activity, the Blair Witch, the things where you don't see the bad thing, that's better usually. Even things that are just creepy and nothing much happens, like Strangers, the very first Strangers film, where there's people with potato sacks on their heads with eyes cut out, just in the background, and not much happens to the last 5 minutes. But it's just the camera panning as they're walking through the kitchen, and they're in the background, and no one notices them. It's just the fact that we notice them, but no one else does. And it's like, oh God, when's it going to happen? And it doesn't for ages. That's good.
Yeah. No, that's
I mean, I think because of the volume. I think the volume of films that come out now, it makes it harder to like. I remember when I first watched Candyman, and I was probably too young to watch it, but I was like terrified of it. I was like, didn't want to go to bed with like the lights on and stuff. It's lights off even. It'd be like, that is a proper horror movie that is like scary as fuck. Because even though you know it's not right, you ain't saying that in the mirror, right?
No, I didn't.
You're like, no.
Have you seen Candyman?
Yeah, I have. Again, I was really young when I watched it too. I must have been like maybe not primary school. That's probably too young. Like high school, low high school. But yeah, I can still remember it.
Yeah,
92, I think it came out.
Sorry to interrupt the show. Just a reminder to say we love and appreciate you all for listening to the podcast, whether it's on Spotify, Apple, or Amazon. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, follow, as this really helps us continue to progress and improve the content and keeps us making these fun episodes for you guys. Oh, we're also on these things called Instagram and TikTok. You can follow us there too, as we share short, funny reels on the reg that you can share with friends if you like. Now, back to the mayhem.
But that's the thing as well. It's that had a good mix of the violent, gory bits, but suspension and scary moments and creepiness before it happened.
I'll tell you what came up the other day, which did fucking fuck me up for a little bit, actually. And I definitely was too young to watch this. I was probably between 8 and 10 when I watched Arachnophobia. And that film, oh my God, I had sleepless nights. Because it was so like, they were just little spiders. Like, it could happen. I think films are scarier when you know that's why the paranormal films are scarier, because you're like, that stuff could be true. Like, it could happen. But these tiny little creepy spiders, when they're going all over the place, you're like, oh, there's little spiders everywhere. Like, obviously now I'm old enough to know that's ridiculous. But back then, when you're like 8 or 9, you're like,
But also for years, I never went to the toilet without looking underneath the rim.
Same.
Years. If I went to a public toilet, I'd still do it now.
Do you know I did it? I watched this fucking documentary in Australia about these spider webs or whatever that go under the toilet seat. So for months I was like checking under the bloody toilet seats, even though I knew it wasn't going to happen. Or you'll watch a documentary where a snake comes up the toilet and you're like, I'm just going to stand. But yeah,
I saw on social media, literally this morning. I saw on social media there's a video of two people sitting in the back of a cab, and it's someone videoing a girl say something, but it's not important because it shows the video of the girl, and it says, "You got to hope we don't take a hard right turn, or she has to hold on to the thing." And then it repeats the video and zooms in, and there's a spider as big as your hand. You know, the hand grab in the car. You know, in the back seat, you got that hand grab thing. It's hidden behind it. You can just see the legs sticking out.
I'd leave. I'd be like, we don't need a car. We'll get a taxi. Leave the car.
Person didn't know. Person didn't know. And they filmed it. It was only afterwards they went,
Jesus.
What was there afterwards? They didn't know it in the car.
It's like you see these ones in Australia and they're like this on the wall. I'd just be like, we're leaving. We're moving.
Just burn
we'll buy
the
all
country
new
down.
stuff. The spider owns the house now. We're leaving.
Yeah.
I don't actually mind spiders.
Fuck that.
I'm not scared of spiders.
I don't mind them. I just don't trust them.
Well, you're a country girl, so you're going to be around them more than average.
I don't mind spiders. I have an issue with spiders. I'm like, when they're like carrying a knife, you're like, I'm just gonna. They're horrible, aren't they? And you never know which way they're gonna go.
See,
every other animal, you know where it's going, but spiders are just like fucking that, aren't they?
If I knew it wasn't like venomous, I don't think I'd be scared of a tarantula. Like, I don't look at one and think, ooh. Like, the thing that would scare me is like I wouldn't want anything that could poison me in my house. But like, I'm not scared of snakes, but I wouldn't want a poisonous one in my house. Do you know what I mean? It's like.
Good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think when people look at spiders, I mean, it's not really the spider's fault, but they look like they're up to something, don't they? Like you never look at a spider that looks like it's chilling out. It always looks like it's scheming and it's about to do something, and you're like, when are you going to do it? And they just stay there for ages, and you turn, and then they're gone. It's like, you son of a bitch.
Yeah,
and before you know it, your wallet's getting like dragged out the door. It's like they're always up to something
all the time.
If a spider's crawling around, it's fine, but it's the ones that are still and then go brr, and then brr, brr. That's the just jolting all over the place. But I'm only scared of middle-sized spiders. Little ones are little, and tarantulas are almost like an animal. And then it's the big house spiders that are like the size of your finger. They're the creepy ones, the big black hairy.
Like Nerf guns were invented, Kev.
I've got a grabber. I've got like a little spider grabber that's really good.
Saying that, it's not more annoying than when a bloody wasp gets into your bedroom and it's time to go to bed. That winds me up.
Bedroom at night? Run on mosquitoes.
Yeah, you're about to go to bed and a wasp sneaks in through the window and you're like, oh, you son of a bitch. And it's just bouncing around and everything. You're like, if I go to sleep, he's going to bloody sting me in here or something.
I've never had a wasp.
You have to like try and get the bastard out.
Never had a wasp in my room at night. I think they sleep at night.
I knew someone that had a bat fly in their bedroom at night. That was quite funny.
I had one in my old
house.
Yeah, a bat came in, and I was like, "Oh my god, what do I do?" And it found its way out, but it was a bit like, "Oh my god." It was flying because Kev remembers where I used to live. It was all open plan, like everything was open plan. And it was a really hot night, so I left
it was one room, but it was massive.
Yeah, it just was one giant room. There was no partition. So it was just flying around the house, and I was sat in bed like, I don't know what to do. It went out.
Just stay in bed.
Yeah, and they fly around like maniacs, don't they? Like they are everywhere.
Yeah, it was really fast. That's
they're not the most composed animal
to try and do.
And bats are lovely as well, but you don't want them in your house because they can still carry diseases and stuff like that as well. But yeah, no, bats are lovely. Oh, your place was cool though, because so Eleanor used to live in literally a barn. Like
the one you had a bloody bat. Surprised you didn't have a freaking owl as well.
Yeah, no owls, unfortunately. Not in the house, at least.
Imagine an owl coming into your bedroom at night.
Yeah, it was a barn.
And you had the horses right on your doorstep. Where's your horses?
They are in livery, which means like they're not. I don't have them here. So Jeeves is in one livery and Milo's in another, which is a very poor financial decision actually. So
yeah. Could you have posher sounding animal names?
Jeeves is great. I like to think he's got his little leg up with a little like blanket over it there. Yes, my lady.
That name. He is like the lord of the stables. Like he just he thinks he's a stallion, and he's just very opinionated. I didn't choose the names though, but I do love the name.
Opinionated horse.
What was that?
An opinionated horse.
Yeah, opinionated horse is a thing.
He's always like, nay.
Oh dear. Yeah.
Also, another little random fact about Eleanor is she keeps going abroad and saving animals.
Yeah.
What, specifically to save them, or you end up in situations like you read in the news that there's like a wallaby lost in somewhere and you're straight on a plane?
She goes to a wedding and doesn't come home until an animal's been adopted.
Yeah. I can't ever go back to Cyprus again. It was quite harrowing if you're an animal lover, which I am. But me and my other half were walking around. So in Cyprus, the sort of coastal areas are quite touristy, and there were stray cats there, but they all looked okay, to be fair. Like, they weren't skinny, they weren't all gammy, because I think in hindsight, the tourists were feeding them. So when we got to the hotel in the touristy area, we were buying bags of biscuits and water and going around feeding all the cats, and like they were like, oh, they're happy. But then we went into the city, which is a lot more like real Cyprus, and it was horrible. It was just awful. If anyone's listening to this and you think of going to Cyprus, just take heed if you like cats. But there were just strays everywhere, like, and not looking good either.
It's like a lot of countries. Where were you? Paphos or somewhere?
So the touristy place that we stayed in was Paphos, but the cats were okay there, to be fair. Like, there was a stray problem, but they weren't all like dying, essentially. But in Nicosia, which is, I think, is the capital, but I don't know. I think it's the capital. But yeah, we found one in a doorway that was curled up, and we were walking around with like bags of biscuits, feeding all the strays that we found. And when we went over to this one, it was clear it had broken its leg, because its leg was just the wrong direction. And we were just like, we can't leave it. Like, we literally can't just go, okay, its leg's broken, we'll just go home now. So we called an out of hours vet. Found a cardboard box in the street.
But that costs a lot.
This is the crazy thing. So we found a cardboard box, put the cat in the box, and ran in like 30-degree heat to the vet to meet the vet there. I got like heat stroke. So when I arrived at the vet's, I was like shaking, because I guess adrenaline and also running in the heat with a cat. But anyway, so long story short, got to the vets. We paid for like painkillers, fluids, blood tests, an x-ray. And meanwhile, I'm stood in the waiting room like, oh my God, what have we done? Because I was like, we've not got a lot of money. We're not poor, but we're not rich by any stretch. I was like, what have we done? And the vet came out, and I was like, how much was that x-ray? And she said 35. And I was like, 35 what? 35 euros for an x-ray. I was
100 euros.
Yeah, that's what I was waiting for.
Quid.
Yeah, 35 euros, which is about £32 for an x-ray.
I should have got two.
Done for that.
Our total bill for the out-of-hours appointment, the x-ray, all the meds, etc., and the cat being kept in overnight was 100 euros. I was like, why aren't people helping these animals? That's what the vet bills cost. So, yeah, when we found out how cheap it was,
there's no excuse that it's that cheap.
What's that?
Went out and got a few more.
Yeah, there's no excuse if it's that cheap. Yeah, you should have gone out hunting more. Yeah,
you can come out here, like, do a fundraiser before you go, raise a few hundred or thousand, and you can literally help so many cats because it's so cheap. But yeah, this one. So we took this one back to Paphos with us on a bus. And because she couldn't have a leg fixed then, we had to take her to a Paphos vet. So we met a rescue lady in Paphos. She took the cat off us, and we've been in contact since, whilst this cat is getting the treatment it needs, and then it will be flown over. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, you're getting the cat flown over?
Mm-hmm.
That cat's had the time of his life. Best leg break ever.
Oh, what? So the cat's coming?
No.
Cat's coming to you?
Yeah.
Amazing.
We've got a cat from Romania, so the charity that we got Fig, our Romanian cat from, is helping us with the transport, because it's not something that we'd know how to do. But it's all kind of being organised for us. Obviously, we're funding it, but yeah, we just thought we've gone this far, we might as well, because otherwise she's just going to go back out on the streets and history will repeat itself. There's no food in Cyprus because the people there, like, the majority don't care. They don't feed them, and there's nothing for them other than what they can find in bins. It's really sad.
You're kind of like the Angelina Jolie of the cat adopting world. Slowly getting them from different countries.
She's got a few more. She's already got a few at home.
Yeah, 3 English.
Can you all understand each other?
Foreigners. I don't know, because I've heard that animals do have accents depending on where they're from. I don't know if that's true, but I read it.
Well, I heard that cats only meow for humans. It's not a communication between them.
I've heard that as well, but what I also don't understand is you hear cats fighting sometimes when there's no humans around, or does that not count when they're like, meow? Does that not count?
They don't
I think they're going, help, help, help.
They're making a big screeching noise to attack, aren't they? They're not asking for food.
Yeah,
they only ask for food from humans, don't they?
Is that not a meow? No? Is that a different noise?
No, that's a attack.
I've heard the same thing.
That's like what you hear foxes.
I don't know.
Just need to let the dog out.
Okay.
Have you ever been to Marrakesh?
No, is that bad for stray animals?
Don't go there.
Oh, really?
Don't go there. It's so bad. It's such a strange place. I've been there once, and 1 minute we went out of the complex one time. Called a taxi. One taxi shows up for 5 people, so obviously we're 4 of us squeezed in the back. Ask him to go to Newtown, which is where all the tourists goes. And on the way, we stopped at, I think, every one of his mates' rug shops. And he made us go out and look at them. But, like, 1 minute you're kind of in almost like a live-action setting of Aladdin, where there's, like, really malnourished, like, cows and donkeys on the side of the road. Like, you see their ribs and things. It's pretty horrible. And then you go around the corner, and there's, like, a bloody... fucking Top Man and H&M. It's like, what is going on with this country? But, like, yeah, I've never felt more like I'm going to be robbed in my life than when I went there. Like, the pickpocketing is so bad. I was like hands in pockets the whole time. Beautiful country, but, like, it's so night and day between the general, I'd probably say, poorness and the wealth of, like, the tourism is, like, completely black and white in the space of, like, a 5-minute car journey. It's a bit like France. Like, France is brilliant at the front end, but then you go... Remember when we drove back to France, Kev, on the world's longest coach trip from Andorra? On the way back? Yeah, we did. And it was all, like, sort of huts in the middle of, like, fields and stuff, and looked a bit shit, no offence to the French, but I don't get on from France listening to us anyway, do they?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Well, sorry, Pierre. But, yeah, it looks a bit shit. And then you go to the nice bit, but that's like hours and hours away. Whereas Marrakesh, it's like a 5-minute journey from basically like being in Basingstoke and then being in like Syria. It's like completely opposite.
Is it?
Yeah, but that's like, it's like common over there, and those.
It's also their culture and their lifestyle, so they probably don't see it as that. But from an outsider being like, judgmental, I guess that's kind of how you.
Yeah, I think Turkey and Greece and all those countries, they have a disregard for cats and dogs. They're just like vermin almost, so they're not treated very well there. Like even in, I think I'm not even going to say the country in case I get it wrong, but yeah, I've heard lots of horror stories, and I don't want to repeat them because they're not nice.
Well, Greece don't have any self-respect for their own, like China, so they're always smashing their plates now, aren't they? Very wasteful country.
I wondered where the fuck you were going.
China animals, same thing, really.
Wasteful.
Yeah.
Bloody wasteful Greeks.
I was going to say as well, like before you mentioned about the horrors, Eleanor, I was looking at what films I'd watched recently that were horrors. Me and James saw the same film that we didn't see the same film of, if that makes any sense. No.
If you say it in English, I watched the original, Kev watched the remake.
There's a new film just out called Speak No Evil. Have you heard of that?
No, I haven't.
I'd definitely give that a go. That's, I don't know if I'd call it a horror, but it's a psychological horror. It's got some violent moments in it and scary moments, but it's like super intense, and it's out on Prime already. It's just left the cinema like a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, it's good.
It's got James McAvoy. Very good. That's the cover.
Okay.
It's also on Shudder, which
There
if you
you
like,
Worth knowing.
if you like horror,
Sorry?
It's worth knowing.
What?
What?
Oh, yeah.
yeah, you should get the app Shudder on Prime. It's just all horror stuff. It's really, really good. It's got some really obscure stuff on there.
Trying to think what else is good. Have you heard of a film called Trap?
No.
Josh Hartnett.
Just came out like a month ago. It's also already on Prime, and you can get it.
It got really bad reviews, but I really enjoyed it.
I find that sometimes though, like with the reviews, they can be quite harsh. Trap. Okay.
M. Night Shyamalan. It is very, very good. Very, very good. Trying to think, there's not been many horrors been out apart from In a Violent. Oh yeah, there was that triple threat of In a Violent Nature, which is probably not your thing. It's more just graphic. Long Legs, that might creep you out. That was good. James will disagree,
I recognize the name, but I don't think of it.
if you take away the hype,
yeah, I recognize the name, but I don't know.
Long Legs is good. It was just overhyped. Yeah.
Sorry, I think there's like a second delay sometimes when we're speaking. So I don't think we're speaking over each other. I think there's like a delay sometimes. But yeah, Long Legs, I'd definitely give a go. And there's a film called Maxine as well, which is very good. So yeah, there's a few good ones out there. Would you watch any like? Do you like any of the like more violent ones, like Halloween and Friday 13th or Shining, Nightmare on Elm Street, the classics, or are you more into the just the creepy ones?
I've watched all of those. Definitely like the ones where you can't see anything. Weirdly enough, they're the ones that like they really get me. They're like gory slasher ones. You know, they're not like you don't watch that. You watch it and think, oh, that was unpleasant, but I don't think they scare me as such. So yeah, definitely like the ones where you like the almost like thrillers, psychological, ghosty, paranormal, suspense ones. They're the ones that, well, they used to get me. I've become quite hardened to it, but they're my favourite ones when they do get me.
All right. Well, I'd definitely say from all the ones we just mentioned, I would say Speak No Evil would be the best one for you to watch because you're on your toes from maybe 15 minutes in. You're like,
Yeah, love that.
And it's a big, horrifying build up. It's so good. But
even the one I watched, it's like half Danish, half Dutch. So it's quite jarring because 1 minute one family is Dutch, one is Danish. So when they're talking within themselves, they're speaking their own languages. But when they're interacting with each other, they're speaking English. You've got like 3 language things to like kind of deal with. But there are subtitles, which I don't normally like. But I kind of forgave it for this film. There's no famous actors in it whatsoever. The remake, obviously, from a couple of years later, has got the big Hollywood in, but it was definitely a good premise for a film. I just hope the one that Kev's seen is executed better. The one I saw just had a stupid ending, and I was oh, pointless. Yeah.
Oh, this is yielded some interesting things. What's the most famous person you've met? Whether it's TV, film, music, whatever it might be, who would you say is like someone you've bumped into or seen in the street, or if anyone?
Do you know what? I don't have a very exciting track record of meeting celebrities, but the best one was half chance and half not because when close your ears, Kev the vegan. When me and my family went to SeaWorld when I was younger, Tom Daley just happened to be at the park that day. But it was chance because we didn't know.
The swimmer?
Diver.
The diver, yeah.
Okay. I was just trying to make sure I knew who it was.
Yeah, so that was chance, but then he was doing like meet and greets, so all our family like meeted and greeted him. So that bit wasn't chance, but it was chance we were there.
Met and Gret.
Met and Gret. I was like, meted and greeted.
Gret's not a word.
So yeah, there was him, but I like. Other than that, I don't think I've got any particularly exciting ones. I'll let you know if I suddenly come up.
I like
with...
that you meted and greeted.
You meted and Gret. Met and greeted.
So when you saw Tom Daley at SeaWorld, was he like doing the butterfly stroke with the sharks? What was he doing?
Kev, he's not a swimmer, he's a diver. Don't be rude.
Yeah, but he's always in water, isn't he?
Not always. He's not a mermaid.
Oh, she saw him at a sea life centre.
He probably wasn't. He wasn't signing it, leaning out the top of a swimming pool, was he? He was probably
he
sat on a bench.
You don't see Tom Daley walking down the street.
He did do a demo, and he was diving.
He just sat in a puddle of water to keep him wet, like a whale.
What? He actually did dive?
He did dive, yes, but not swam. He did do a dive demo. Because obviously, like, the, like, dolphin shows and stuff have, like, high dive platforms there, because they used to do it like a show where they wouldn't just, like, the divers would be diving, and there'd be people on, like, trapeze wires, and the dolphins would be jumping. It was all very spectacular. So there were like different diving platforms in the dolphin bit. So he did a demo.
I got well confused. All I'm thinking is that you're in that tunnel that you walk through, and you got the fish all around.
What, he's swimming in it, like at the Sea Life Centre?
Aquarium.
Imagine. Oh, there's a big giant turtle. There's a stingray. Oh, there's Tom Daley. Look at that.
That's
swimming past.
That's what my brain was thinking. I was thinking.
Instead of a meet and greet, he's just got help written up on a bit of sign, just like that, like trying to get out.
And he just comes
flying around,
that, swims across. I didn't think of an outside arena. I was thinking about
that'd be the best way for a celebrity to do a meet and greet, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
in an aquarium tunnel.
No,
Jason Momoa's there.
Yeah. Hopefully it's clicked what I mean now. Or maybe it hasn't.
Yeah, I mean, it makes it even better that he was doing those trapeze and diving, and those dolphins in there as well, right? He was diving in with dolphins.
I don't think dolphins were in there when he was diving. I think they'd like closed, like they were like different pools, so they could usher the dolphins into different areas.
You know, Kev, when athletes meet people, they're not necessarily always doing their sport. Like, you don't have a meet and greet with Usain Bolt running full tilt down a 100-meter track, do you? Trying to get him to sign something while he's running.
But Eleanor just met Tom Daley, and he was in his little tight pants, wasn't he?
He's always wearing tight pants.
Wearing normal clothes at the meet and greet. So he did a demo. He did a demo where he dived off the diving board for the audience, and then he did a meet and greet after. But we didn't know he was there. Like, there was no advertisement that we were aware of. We just turned up and were like, oh, Tom Daley's here today. So it was like sort of a chance encounter.
That's a pretty cool surprise.
I fancied Tom Daley. I had a poster of him in my bedroom. Like, this was a huge surprise. I was very excited. 10-year-old me, or however old I was.
Then the excitement turned to despair when he decided he was switching governments.
I was kind of sad about that.
He's married with babies now, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
He's married to what?
He's married with babies, not married to babies.
I didn't hear you properly. I thought you said he's married to someone called Babis or something.
He doesn't live in a house though, Kev. He lives in a big fish pond. Bobbing about.
Swims around in a fishbowl. That makes me happy thinking that's real.
Well, the athletes subscribe to living their life how they are. Like, Usain Bolt wakes up in the morning, he's had breakfast and that before it's like 3 seconds in, running around the house like Sonic the Hedgehog.
He lives on a hamster wheel, just a little hamster wheel, just constantly running. Power of the house. So, have you met anyone that wasn't when you were 10 years old and they were covered in water, like on a street in person or anything like that?
Kev likes more land-based celebrities.
Yeah.
Is this to me or James?
To you.
Oh, so no,
non.
what's
the word?
Do you know what? I've seen Michael Owen a couple of times because I live near him, but I don't recognise him. It's only been when I've been with people, they've been like, "Oh, Michael Owen's there," but I don't know like who he. Like I know who he is, but I don't know who he is. So that doesn't really count, does it?
Randomly, I think I've been closer to Michael Owen than you. James took me to see. He supports Reading football, and I have no interest in football.
For my sins.
And I joined him, and his seat, he's got like his proper seat right by the corner post, and I was sat there watching Reading versus Newcastle, and I don't care about football, so I don't know anyone. And then Michael Owen was there, and you know him because he's a celebrity as opposed to just a footballer. I was like, oh, Michael Owen's 2 foot away from me. That's weird. Kicking a ball. But that's his. So, yeah. So 6 degrees of separation. We've both been within 6 foot of Michael Owen. How weird.
There you go.
Hi.
Yeah,
fantastic.
I don't think there's any. I've seen like, I don't know if this counts because it's smaller scale. I've seen like people in Hollyoaks, but Hollyoaks is filmed quite locally, so I'd imagine you probably have as well, I guess.
We do a podcast with someone from who's in Hollyoaks.
Who is it?
But he never shows up anymore. He's like an absent father.
Drew, our third guy, he's been in Hollyoaks for a few weeks.
A few weeks, so like recently, because I stopped watching it a few years ago, so I wouldn't know him.
Oh no, this was years ago.
Oh,
years ago.
Yeah, a few years back. You might have seen him pop on for like a few episodes and then disappear again.
But they had to, did you hear what happened with Hollyoaks? They had to do like the base is a big money shortage in TV at the moment. So I think BBC have axed Holby City or something, and they're having to restructure because the money's not there. So what they did in Hollyoaks is, one, they shifted it off of Channel 4. So it's not on Channel 4 anymore. It's on like the E4 or 4 Plus Extra app or whatever it's called. And to tackle the money problem, they did this storyline where they fast forwarded a year. So they skipped an entire year of the show and basically eliminated 50% of the cast. So one episode is like a big accident happens, and then they cut to 1 year later. Some people are pregnant, one's got like cancer, some people have left, some are married, some are, which is I've never seen that happen in a show, and it actually works out pretty good. Because I started watching Hollyoaks randomly about a year ago.
So did they not have any Hollyoaks running for a year, or was it like they cut it immediately? Like
No, it was at the space for days. So it finished. It only runs Monday to Wednesday now, so it's only on 3 days a week.
I did not know any of this. I did not know any of this.
It only happened about a month ago. So what they did is on the Wednesday they had this big explosion. You're like, oh my god, who died? Loads of people were in these situations. Then the following Monday, it was like, this is 1 year in the future, which is quite clever. So it kind of keeps you guessing, and it means it didn't have to kill people off. Like, one of the characters had like shaved head, had cancer. One of them was pregnant or just about to have a baby. Like, a few of them had died, a few of them just left. There was some different relationships forming. And like, kind of, they're saying that over the next sort of 6 to 8 months, you're going to kind of work out what happened in the last year, sort of thing. Which I think is quite a clever way to sort of mix things up. Yeah, it's only on like one Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday now.
Oh gosh.
Does anyone even watch Hollyoaks anymore?
I do. Do you know, it's the only... I don't really watch soaps. I don't watch EastEnders and that because they're just depressing. But Hollyoaks is just like one of them programs where you just don't know what's going to happen. Like, they will just randomly kill someone.
Yeah,
no reason. They're just like, you're dead. See you later.
I used to watch it. Like, a lot of things happened that I was really like gutted by.
And the level of acting is better as well. Like we were saying, the kid from See No Evil was on Hollyoaks. And if you look at Hollyoaks now, you'll probably be like, I recognise that person. I recognise that person. They're all from like different soaps, and they've ended up migrating. They do the run, don't they? And they end up there. But like Ricky Whittle, was that his name? He ended up in Hollywood. Quite a few of them do.
I know the name. It's like I can't think what character he played, but I know the name.
He was in a show, I think, in America. Can't think now though. The guy that played Brendan Brady, he was in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
He's been in other such things.
Yeah, I've seen him in a few good things. I fancied him. I always fancied him. I think it's the Irish accent. Yeah.
he was like the ultimate bad guy, wasn't he? He was just like really cool.
Irish guy. Yes.
But yeah, it's a decent watch for 25 minutes a day, 3 days a week. You know, can't really fault it.
I didn't know any of this. I didn't know it changed channel. I didn't know it reduced days. Things you find
Yeah,
out.
apparently I read all of the TV channels have just had such a cut in their budgets. It's like they've just got to axe things now and try and work out ways to keep them going, I guess.
Yeah.
But I suppose with Netflix and that, like, how often do you tune into BBC or ITV? Most of my content now comes from Netflix, like, or Prime or whatever app, Paramount.
We go on BBC iPlayer for stuff.
The only thing, do you know what, funny enough, right now I've got BBC iPlayer on the screen because I was watching The Apprentice. The only thing I go on BBC iPlayer for is The Apprentice, and if I want to rewatch Luther or something. That's literally it. Like, they haven't got any Top Gear or anything. It's nothing on there. ITV, I don't even know what they have on there. Channel 4 I watch because they've got loads of old comedy, like they've got the Father Teds and all that sort of stuff on there.
Well, BBC iPlayer right now, just a new one came out the weekend. We've watched 2 episodes of so far. It's called Show Trial, and it's very good already. It's about a climate activist who gets killed, gets run off the road, and in his dying breath, he says it's the police officer X who did it, and then they go for this police officer, and we've got to believe that he didn't do it. He's got to prove he's innocent, even though a dead man named him just before he died. So it's very difficult to get out of. So it's quite an interesting one.
See, the funny thing is, BBC and ITV actually have an awful lot of good crime shows, but because you only see people really pumping Netflix and Prime shows, you don't see the advertising for it. So, like, loads of stuff. Like remember when that David Tennant one come out, Des, about Dennis Nielsen? Amazing. One of the best documentaries I've ever seen. But it wasn't even a documentary, was it? It was an acting thing. Did you see that, Des, Eleanor?
No, I've not heard of it.
It was about a guy called Dennis Nielsen, who was probably one of the most prolific British serial killers. But David Tennant played him, and David Tennant looks exactly the same as him, like identical. Like if you said that's the same person just a couple years apart, you'd be like, "What the fuck?"
I didn't see it, but I can remember seeing
and
it.
He played it so well.
Yeah. I know what you're on about.
Yeah, this guy killed like tons of people, didn't he? And he was like, when he got caught at the end, he was like, "You did a good job catching me, because I would have kept going." And they were like, "Can't argue with that." But there's a scene, isn't there, in the police car when the guy's like, "How many bodies are there?" And he's like, 14. He's like really like blasé about the whole thing, and the police like almost crashed my car when he said that. But yeah, that's excellent, isn't it? The one with Dennis Nielsen, even whatever it's called.
Look at my face for a second. Does this remind you of anyone?
Jeffrey Dahmer. Actually, you like Dennis Nielsen there. You like good.
I've got 70s serial killer glasses.
Yeah, they are 70s serial killer glasses. Why have you got them?
Yeah.
People like a bad boy. That's why.
A bad boy, not a murderer. Girls aren't like, do you know what? He looks like he might strangle me.
No, but there was like an article thing that came out. You know the Jeffrey Dahmer? The Evan Peters.
Jeffrey Dahmer, Ted Bundy. I think you're on about. Ted Bundy is like had women. He confessed to killing 100 people, and there was women at like the bloody prison with like, we love you, Ted, and all this sort of shit. And it was like, Jesus Christ, some women have got some weird kinks, haven't they?
Yeah, that was more extreme.
It's like, yeah, kill me.
The example I was going to use was there was, I can't remember what it's called. Whether it was just called, I think it was just called Dahmer. But Evan Peters played Jeffrey Dahmer's the cannibal guy, right? Yeah, and
monster.
Like, yeah, all the girls were talking about like how sexy he is as a serial killer, and the show was like, that wasn't the point, and you weren't meant to find him attractive. But that's even worse that people were finding
he was like
attractive,
fucking eating people. It's like, Jesus Christ. Imagine that you met a girl on a speed date, and what are you into? Well, I'm quite into like the idea that you might kill me and eat me. It's like, right. Next. It's like,
I mean,
what's wrong with you?
So maybe that was something to do with it.
Have you seen the new series of that, Monsters, with the
Menendez
brothers, where they kill their parents?
No, but it's on my favourites.
It's made by the same, but it's in the
to watch. It's on my list to watch.
It's good, yeah.
Yeah, it's in the same. I think it's filmed by the same people, isn't it? Because wasn't the Peter one called Monsters as well?
Yeah, it's the same people. So I think the acting in the Menendez one is even better than Dahmer.
They look exactly the same as the real people.
They look pretty close. Pretty close, yeah.
Yeah, I've got it on my list to watch.
Because Evan Peters looked a bit like Dahmer, but
they always choose people that are slightly more attractive but got the similar look.
Yeah.
You should definitely watch Des, though. Des is one of the best TV programs, so not Netflix or something, that I've ever watched, I'd say. It's so good. David Tennant's a genius.
Is it on BBC?
Few recommendations.
Yeah, it's got to be. No, ITV, Kev. ITV, not BBC.
God, I've got so many apps open now. Yeah.
But I've never seen any actor look so much like the actual person he's playing. And it just so happens to be that he's also a very good actor.
Yeah. Oh, not watch now. Yeah, that. If you can see it.
Right. Now show a picture of actual Dennis Nielsen. So that's David Tennant. Quick, Kev, because this is a podcast. People need to hear stuff. Kev, your quiff is giving pumpkin vibes. You're mute. Are you muted? Because I can't hear you.
Oh, I thought you were taking.
Kev forgetting about his new mute button.
I keep coughing, so I keep muting.
There's the real Dennis Nielsen.
No. Oh, that is good, isn't it? That is uncanny.
That's so weird, isn't it? How they look so similar.
Huh?
I just saw all your tabs.
There's nothing weird on my tab.
What did you see on his tabs? Kev's got Grindr. Kev's got Grindr for everyone that's listening and not watching.
What was I going to say? Oh, I've mentioned it before. I didn't say the full story, but I used to be an estate agent in London, and Dennis Nielsen, the serial killer, the reason he was famous, the reason he got caught is because he used to grind people's body parts up and then eat them and flush bits down the toilet and in the drains. And he was in the top floor of flat of a building, and the bottom floor of flat called the drainage guys to unblock his drain, and they pulled out lumps of flesh and human bones. So they called the police, and Dennis Nielsen's at the shop. It's during the day. And the police are there waiting for Dennis Nielsen to walk back, and he just strolls back and goes, "Oh, you caught me. Cool." He didn't even try to evade it. But as an estate agent about 10 years ago, or a bit longer actually, my company marketed and sold his apartment, his one-bed apartment on the top.
How much for?
Do people want apartments like that? Is there a market for serial killer apartments?
It's a very nice.
Same girls that want to marry a serial killer.
It's a very nice apartment in a very high-end part of town. Like, it was in a place called Muswell Hill, where I used to work.
But bodies were like flushed down the drain.
Yeah, I used to drive past his house every day to go to work, every single day for 5 years at least. I used to drive past his apartment. I didn't quite know it. And then Des came out, went to see my mate, took a selfie in front of it with my serial killer glasses.
Yeah, that's shameless.
And then realised that was really inappropriate.
Oh yeah, highly inappropriate, Kev. Kev's like mega lols. Just like...
Yeah. Bit weird. I don't know if they converted it back to a house or not, because it's like a big...
They should have knocked it down really out of respect. Like, Jesus.
Well, no, it's only a one-bed apartment on the top floor. There's like five apartments in there. They knocked down what's his Rose West, Fred and Rose West's. They knocked their house down. Here's a weird. All right.
Well, yeah, they had to redo their patio, didn't they?
Yeah. do you know who on about Eleanor, Fred and Rose West? Yeah.
I know the names. Why do I know
they
the names?
They're in, I think it was Gloucester area. They were serial killers, and the husband and wife. Were they? Is that what I can't remember.
No, that was
That's that woman, wasn't it?
That was Peter Sutcliffe, I believe.
Yeah,
and what was her name?
My Google is going to be bloody weird at the moment.
You're gonna
Peter Sutcliffe, and she starved herself to death, didn't she, in prison? Or he did, one of the two. Peter Sutcliffe and who?
No, it's Ian Brady and Myra Hindley.
Oh, Ian Brady and Myra Hindley. Who's Peter Sutcliffe then?
Who's Peter Sutcliffe?
Because you know, I find. Did you watch Gavin and Stacey?
Oh yeah, Peter Sutcliffe. He's the he's the Yorkshire Ripper.
Sorry, we went off a tangent. You were talking about Fred and Rose.
Oh yeah. Rose and Fred West talk about inappropriate, like me taking a photo in front of Dennis Nielsen's house. Rose and Fred West, who lived in Gloucester, their house got demolished because they killed so many people, buried them in the back garden, under the patio, in the floorboards, and at the same time, their children were living in the house and they were being abused. Horrible, horrible, horrible people. My parents. That is the loudest ding I've ever heard.
I don't know how to turn it off. It comes off on my laptop. I don't know how to stop.
No, it was a very ding. My parents. All right. For everyone listening who thinks I'm from the West Country, I'm Scottish. I'm not from the West Country. Everyone at work, every day, someone goes, "Oh, are you from down in the West Country, are you?" I'm like, "No." And I keep saying I've never been to Gloucester, but my parents moved to Gloucester for like 2 years. I forgot about that. That I wasn't there. That was when I was an adult. Anyway, my parents in Gloucester lived there for a few years, and they met a person, a woman, and she is the daughter of Fred and Rose West.
Really?
And she was really lovely. They didn't know who she was, and I don't know why she said it, that she introduced herself and said who she was, rather than just saying, "Oh, hi, I'm Sue," or whatever her fucking name is. And she actually said it, and they're like taken aback by it. But she's apparently really lovely and quite well adjusted, even though she had a very traumatic upbringing. And their house was literally demolished. You can see where their house was. It's a little garden at the end of a row, because there's the last house of a row of terraces. They demolished the house, put a little garden or something there. It's enough.
Well, you know the really weird fact about Gavin and Stacey, which they never ever talk about. You watch Gavin and Stacey?
That's quite a U-turn.
No, it's not. It's there. So Gavin and Stacey, the surnames of the three major families are Sutcliffe, West, and Shipman.
What of
Howard
the characters?
Shipman? Yeah. So how they were named after? There's Shipman, West, and Shipman, West, and Sutcliffe. And so named after the three most prolific serial killers in the UK.
Why is that?
I don't know. It's something that came out like well after the programme had come. Someone gone, I've just noticed that like their surname's Shipman, like Howard Shipman. Theirs is like West after Fred and Rose, and theirs is Sutcliffe after Peter Sutcliffe. Like there's no coincidence there. They blatantly did that deliberately, didn't they?
That was a bit strange.
Yeah, you're right. You've not seen Gavin and Stacey?
I've not, no.
Eleanor.
Sorry.
Do you know what it is, right?
Yeah, I know what it is.
It's kind of, it's good. It is decent. It's coming back this Christmas for one-off. It's what made James Corden famous.
Just when they've been like on the TV in the background, but I've never like actually watched it properly, to be fair.
That's mad. I've just Googled that. You're right. That's the weirdest thing ever. Why did they do that? That's really bad. For such a light-hearted comedy program.
Yeah, it's a random one, isn't it? When I first heard that, I was like, no way. Googled it. I was like, oh, fair enough.
So, Eleanor, what are you watching at the moment? What's good in your household? What you
Rage World podcast.
What you binging?
So I've just finished watching Vikings on Netflix. But
nice.
Yeah, to be honest, because I've just finished it, I'm now looking for something else. I'm in between. Oh, I've popped a button. In between series at the moment. So if you got any?
We're not on your streaming platform now, by the way.
Haha. No, I haven't got anything. But do you know what I am quite excited for is the second Squid Game. I've been waiting this for time for it to come out.
Cannot wait.
So I'm very excited.
What a great twist with the old bloke being the guy at the end.
I know. I did see that one come in.
Just to ruin Series 1 for everyone.
If no one's seen Series 1 yet, that's their fucking loss, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I feel
Brilliant programme.
Yeah, you found out by now, but it really got me, you know, where they were doing the marbles episode, and Ali had his marbles and he got screwed over. I was crying, like actual, like proper tears streaming down my face. I was so upset by that. So upset.
This speaks volumes for Squid Games. I really, really don't like reading subtitles, or I really, really don't like watching dubbing. So I watched it with the dubbing version, and it was almost like they went out of their way to get bad actors to do the dubbing. And bear in mind, dubbing actors don't need to act, they just need to read. It was like, oh no, I will go over there. I will see what is going on. Okay,
Yeah,
I
I
will
watched
see
an
you in a
episode
minute. It
dubbed
was
and I was
so
like, no.
bad. I was like, but I forgave it after the first episode. I was like, okay, it's got me. But it's like they almost went deliberately out of the way to get bad voice actors.
Yeah.
It still worked with the dubbing. It still worked. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, I tried to watch it.
I watched it subtitled.
Did you? I started
Nah.
watching subtitle, but then it was obviously can read, but I get bored of reading really quickly. Like, it's not how I take in content by reading, because I find myself just looking at the bottom of the screen and missing what's going on, which also double pisses me off when I accidentally book a cinema trip and don't pay attention to the CC logo at the bottom. So you go and watch a bloody film and it's got closed captions with the frickin' subtitles. So you end up, even though you don't want to look at them, you want to look at them. Like, you can't look away. It's like,
I had to cancel a cinema one the other week because I didn't notice that, and then I had to move it to a different time to go and
I
watch
watched Puss in Boots like that.
Puss in Boots with
Puss in Boots. Really wound me up. I was like, why? I didn't even know it was a thing.
In English with subtitles.
I was like, deaf people ruining movies. Like, they're not even here anyway. There was no deaf people there, I can tell you that for free.
Just you.
It was just me and Reef, yeah. Just me and Reef.
Oh, Eleanor, how cool is this for a name? James's kid is called Reef. That's a cool name, right?
Cool name. I've never met a Reef before. I've got a friend that's a Wraith, but not a Reef.
No, I was like, whenever we go to gift shops, you're never going to get anything because nothing's ever got your name on it. So,
save your money.
Yep.
Well, Rafe,
I've got a keyring, my name on it. Nope.
Aww.
Nope. Take him into a surf shop though. I'm skin.
Rafe's an Irish name, isn't it? Like Rafe Spall.
I actually don't know where it's come from. I do like the name, but yeah, it's one of my sort of like oldest friends. But it's still not as cool as Reef.
Yeah, Timothy. Yeah,
it wasn't a name. We just made it up. Like, we wanted something sea-based, so went through all these different things, and then that I don't even know how that happened. It just came up. I think I saw like the surf gear or something, and I was googling surfy kind of names, and that came up.
Sea bass was taken.
Sea bass. Kev, by the way, I think I've just turned into James McAvoy's costume from Speak No Evil.
You have a little bit, haven't you?
Yeah, I just realised I look exactly the same as what he's wearing. It's really hot in here.
You need to lift a few more weights to look exactly like him, but you're on your way.
I'll try and lift a weight.
One sit.
My exercise regime's not best. Like I say, the only thing I run's a bath.
But yeah, go back to Squid Games. That was awesome, and it comes out in December, I think. So
if that's the case, I might rewatch it because I really enjoyed it.
I did.
Right.
I loved it.
Right. I'm about to be annoyed with both of you because I'm going to ask you a question on Squid Games.
Very presumptuous of you, Kevin.
And you're both going to say no, and it's going to irritate me.
Try.
So, have you both watched Squid Game: The Challenge?
Yeah.
Oh, you have?
No.
Did you?
I didn't want to say no because
I actually have. It was the real life one, and should I say who wins? I mean, the person that won took ages to get their money, didn't they?
But do they kill them? Is there consequence?
Yeah, they get completely murdered.
Yes.
I've watched Mr. Beast do Squid Games. That was quite good.
No, watch The Challenge. It's Squid Games: The Challenge. It's in English, I think. Is it English?
Well, did you not see what Mr. Beast did? He recreated all the Squid Games, and he did it all. He did the biscuit cutting one. He did the glass floor. He did it all.
They did that
on the same thing.
Yeah, it was the same thing. It wasn't. Well, pretty much. They had some things that was the same and some that were different, I think.
Yeah, Kev, watch the Mr. Beast one. Like, it's really cool. And they could win like $250,000 or something stupid like that.
Is that on the YouTube?
On the YouTube, yes, it's on the World Wide Web, Kev.
Is it www.youtube.com?
It is, yeah. So if you
Or is it
unplug your
.co.uk?
landline and plug in your computer, you'll get a little dial-up. Then your mum will shout at you because your nan's trying to call, and all she can hear is and then you go on the World Wide Web, close your MSN Messenger and your MySpace, and then you go on the YouTube and you can Google stuff.
Do I need a CD-ROM or something to access it?
You need a router.
A router?
And then a 6-inch floppy disk, and you're good to go.
God, I remember floppies.
Okay.
Right, Eleanor, you're not a complete child. You're younger, but do you remember like floppy disks and CD drives?
The floppy disk weren't floppy. That was the irony.
I had chess, the game of chess, on a floppy disk, and I had Infestation on a floppy disk, and I think something else as well. I had a few floppy disks actually.
We don't need all your medical records today.
But yes, I'm old enough. Sadly, I wish I could say that I had no idea what you were talking about, but alas.
How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
She just turned the big number.
30.
30. Not good.
That helped.
Really?
Yeah, you would never have guessed that, would you?
Baby face.
Yeah, I would have, because I just guessed it.
Yeah, because I said the big number, so you knew.
If I was going to guess, I would have said about 30.
It was either it wasn't going to be 20 or 40, was it?
Well, every year's a big year. Do you know what Kev is?
I actually don't know. He has told me before, but I've forgotten. Older than me.
He wrote it with a quill, with a feather pen, on some papyrus.
Nothing. If I've said something, it's never retained.
Kev will fax you his age.
I've got a pager, mate. Beep beep beep. You need to phone someone up to get the voicemail though.
No, me and Kev are proper old.
Go on, guess our two ages then.
I look older without my beard.
In
fact, I look like a victim. I look like a Make-A-Wish kid without my beard.
Fuck's sake.
I don't want to be rude and get this wrong, but I have a feeling.
Oh, be rude. Be rude.
I have a feeling Kev told me.
I've got hair under. I'm not on dialysis.
You told me you hit 40, right?
I'm not saying anything. You make a guess.
Kev, you old.
You can offend us as much as you want.
You haven't actually offended, so early 40s. Late 30s?
That's not an answer.
No, it is. 42.
Just say a number for me and a number for him.
Oh, you're not the same age?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, James's picture's funny, and I've not funny, fuzzy, and I haven't seen in real life.
You haven't seen him clearly.
I haven't seen him in real life, so I don't know if he's got things like crow's feet, for instance, that you wouldn't see on the screen. You're like picking up like the signs of aging, your hands, your neck.
If you did meet me, I would be wearing shoes. I'm not a fucking Aladdin. Landing like no shoes on. My crow's feet.
Said. That's eyes.
Oh, crow's feet. Oh, if you meant like sort of like pointy toes. Like, no, I got no crow's feet.
No, you have lines by your eyes. Like
smooth.
Yeah.
No, I've not got no crow's feet. Why, has Kev got crow's feet?
I've got none.
I'd assume by the time you reach around
right.
the age of 40, then
I'm doing okay.
So
Even if I get angry, look.
My eyes don't have anything. I use
oil of Olay, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
So I've been thinking about getting Botox because I'm starting to get really like linear eyes.
Oh.
But
linear eyes.
Linear eyes, yeah.
I've said it.
I don't know. I'd say maybe James is a bit younger, but maybe it's without the beard. So
that is correct. I am younger than Kev.
Why? What the fuck?
Because
I am.
Is that because he's wearing a baseball cap and looks like a boy?
There you go. Better.
He's just
shit.
You look like you've just recovered from leukemia.
Without a beard, I do look like a victim. Yeah.
2 months after the surgery.
Yeah. Oh God, I feel like I could start when GoFundMe's.
Okay, 38 and 42. Is that correct?
That is a spot on guess.
What?
Actually,
That far apart? That far apart? Are you serious?
no, I was obviously wrong then.
No, I'm 40 and Kev's 41.
Oh, so I added on years to Kev and took them off you.
Wait a minute, am I not 42? I'm 42, aren't I?
You're not 42, you're 41. Why do I know how old you are and you don't?
Wait a minute, I think I'm 42. 1 second.
This is... Kev, what year were you born? This is not... Now you're seeming like you're 82.
No, okay. I'm 42 in January.
Jesus.
Okay.
Great, it's good that one of us knows how old you are. Now it's sleepy time, Kev.
I needed to do maths from my birth date to work it out.
You had like a Joe Biden moment then, just like, I don't know where I am.
You definitely stop paying attention after a while.
I was trying to pinpoint in time the other day the age I was when I couldn't get up without making a noise. You know, like back in the day, you jump up as a kid, whereas like nowadays, you're like, or you almost have to give yourself a pep talk. You're like, right, we're getting up.
That's a good measure.
Why do you have to make a noise at a certain age? You give yourself a little pep me up. You're like, right, I'm going to get up now, right? And then you tell everyone else you're going to get up, right? Off we go. It's like you can't just get up anymore, can you?
You need to tell people just in case you don't make it. You need a hand.
Strong chance in that, yeah. You just keep going forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird when you get to a certain age in life, you can't get up without making a noise.
It's a good reason to have a kid. They're like a little tugboat.
So fingers crossed I've got a few years left before I reach that stage.
And you've had a bloody hip replacement. I've got no excuse.
That is unfortunate, isn't it?
Oh, I'm sold. But it's not a good reason to have a little one because he just fucks off and leaves me. Like, really, if we're going out in a minute, he's like, all right, see you in a minute. He goes, gets his shoes on. You can help me up. And he's like, no. It's like, it's just off. He's gone. Dick.
Amazing. Oh, are you about like over December by any chance? Are you going out doing Christmassy things in nearby where we live?
Who does Christmas stuff in December?
Who does Christmas? I've not really got any plans for Christmas. To be fair, I can make them.
I need to find out what dates I'm doing stuff, and I'll let you know just in case you are about as well. Because I'm not very social, and I've either got stuff on or I've got nothing on. So usually it's difficult. It's very be arsed to go out half the time. But I've got lots of gigs in the diary, so then that's the only things I go out for. Basically, is like lots of gigs, and I have them every other week. So it's always at the weekend and stuff like that. So I'm trying to like carve a few dates out to like not do anything, and like especially Christmas, everyone wants to go out and stuff. So
yeah,
if we go out of work, I like my work friends. I like all the work colleagues and stuff. They're really cool. But I do always mention to like Ryan or whoever I know might be out, come swing by. Then I can have dinner with them, have a few drinks with them, and then like 10 o'clock, they're young and want to go raving, and I want to go to the old man pub and have a
That is so old then.
Well,
so old.
well,
They're
no.
young. They want to go out with their glow sticks and raving. They're all up on the Bebo.
Well, I don't mind that to a bit, but it gets old very quickly. It's not my music.
Oh,
if we went raving and they played some metal or some rock and roll.
Kev, you're one step away from booking a Saga holiday.
Don't they look good though? Don't they look good these days?
No, you don't even have to walk upstairs. You just sit in a chair and press a button.
Saga, honestly, have you seen the advert for Saga Holidays? Saga Holidays look well appealing these days.
Oh my god, no.
No, is it Saga? Am I thinking about this right
No,
thing?
it's not Saga. I'm trying to save you. It's really not Saga.
What is it?
They're for like 60 plus.
No. Oh, I've just Googled it. Award-winning tours, holidays, tailor-made adventures for the over 50s. Damn it.
Yeah.
That's something to look forward to, though. I'm definitely Sagaing it up.
Not too far away.
Eleanor, think about it. Before you're middle-aged, I'll be going on a Saga holiday. Happening.
Okay.
Invite people that are underage, or is it quite exclusive?
I'd hope so.
With
That's
you.
illegal. Oh, under 50, right.
Well, technically, you've had a hip replacement, so I think you qualify.
Maybe so, to be fair. I'll go with you.
Yeah, I
and keep
suppose.
listening.
Just provide the medical record. They won't ask questions, will they? You can get away with some stuff. Got to use things to your advantage, haven't you?
Kev's just loving the Barry Manilow tribute acts and all that sort of stuff that old people like. A bit of Michael Bolton.
I'm pretty sure things will have moved on in 10 years.
No, they're saying the same.
No, they'll be playing like, I don't know, bloody Justin Bieber, because everyone my age will be like, well, actually, what's my age? What's our age? What's old
That's
for
what you think, Kev. 10 years' time, you'll be texting us from holiday being like, the Manilow tribute act was amazing.
No. I'd be like, the P. Diddy tribute act was great.
Well, no, P. Diddy's banned.
It's not from...
Can't talk about P. Diddy anymore.
Not from Saga. Saga love a bit of P. Diddy.
Well, they're the safest people.
Jesus.
They're definitely the safest people.
So, Eleanor, are you a fan of P. Diddy? Do you like his shtick?
Shtick, what? Straight paedophilia, yeah, we're down. Like his shtick.
Have you been keeping an eye on the... Have you listened to all like the stories and stuff on social media recently about...
I don't even think there's stories at this point. I think it's just blatant fact. Like, people were singing songs about it that we didn't even realise. When you listen to them, you're like, oh.
He's in everything. But even like, what's her face? What's that girl that sings that song? Wake up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy. Kesha, yeah. She's changed it to fuck P. Diddy.
Did you not hear the story about Kesha, though? She had that song, and it was like really, really big. And then no one heard from her for years. And apparently it was because her production company put a ban on her making music. So she couldn't legally make music. So she was legally bound to not being able to produce or make any music for years. That was quite a well-known thing in the media.
Why was she banned?
I don't know. Some sort of disagreement with her agency. So they put like a whatever on her making music. So she basically had to go quiet for years. And now you think, okay, maybe that's the reason why.
Fair enough.
But you can Google it. It was like common knowledge at the time that Kesha wasn't legally allowed to make music for like 2 years or something.
Yeah, I know she disappeared. Eleanor, what are the kids listening to these days? What have you got on your turntables?
I haven't really kept up with modern music. You know, I went to a Green Day concert with you, and like Ollie, who I used to work with, if you remember him, doesn't know who Green Day are. So the youth of today don't actually listen to the same music as myself.
The Ute. Yeah.
The thing is, my argument with this is, right, when I say to someone, I'm like, oh, have you heard this band? They're like, oh, I don't really listen to like old music. I was like, when it comes to media, that doesn't fly. Like, you know who Elvis Presley is. Like, you could just listen to old music. They're like, oh, I don't really listen to like the old stuff. But you know old movies. It's like, media is timeless. Like, if you only listen to modern music, what a crap experience of music you'd have.
I listen to the Beatles.
It would be awful, wouldn't it?
I listen to the Beatles almost every day. There's almost like there's a Beatles vinyl just there. Listen to it most days.
But I say to people, oh, have you heard like so and so band? Like, oh, I don't really to old stuff. It's like, do you know the Beatles are? Yeah, so we clearly do then. I just found out Motley Crue released a new EP 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, did they though?
Careful, Kev. Careful.
Did they?
Careful. 4th of October it came out.
But I suppose you're right though. Like Eleanor, we went to see Green Day, and it's like it was a weird mix of people in the crowd, but it was a good mix. There was younger people and older people, but
music has to be like fuck the age of it. Like, great music is great music.
Especially a band like that, like Green Day. I mean, I wouldn't put them on my favourite list. I know they're on yours, but I do like them, obviously. Otherwise, I wouldn't have gone and see them. But I heard about them. It was, I think Dookie is 1994, the same year Nirvana Nevermind came out. There we go. So it's the same year Nirvana Nevermind came out, and Dookie's like a polar opposite of like this fun piss taking sort of thing before even Blink 182 really existed. And that's when I first heard about them. I was at school, and my friend had a CD. I'd never heard of them really, and I borrowed his CD, and then I became a fan straight away. And then you got into them on American
Idiot.
Psycho.
Yeah.
That's wrong. What's it called?
American Idiot was a massive
Idiot.
one for people, I think.
I was what year was that? Because I'm pretty sure I was in college. Because I remember that being on like the Kerrang and Scuzz TV
Early
show.
2000s.
Yeah, I was in year 6 at school, I think. So I don't know what year that was.
2004, maybe, Kev?
Let's have a look. Yeah, September 2004.
Well done.
I am the king of guessing.
So it's 20 years.
That was a pure guess.
Isn't it the 20 year? It's the 20-year anniversary last month.
Yeah, because Wake Me Up When September Ends. I saw that it's 20 because the lyrics are 20 years has gone so fast. It's actually been 20 years. I was like, 20 years.
Ah, because I remember because I bought. Oh, this is James. 2 episodes in a row. We're going to mention the worst band, well, worst human ever, Lost Prophets. But I bought
Great music.
I bought the album Warning, Green Day Warning, the same year I think Lost Prophets album came out. And I remember we went on a coach trip at college, and they had a CD player in there, and I was the only one that had CDs in my car. So we listened to Beatles Revolver, Green Day Warning, and Lost Prophets. Those 3 albums on repeat because I was the only one that had music. And that
Separate the art from the artist. So, like I said, Lost Prophets has some bloody good songs.
But Green Day, what's your favorite album? Would you say it is American Idiot, or have you got, because that's when you were imprinted on them, or do you prefer any others?
To be fair, my 2 favorite albums are probably everyone's favorite albums, which are American Idiot and Dookie. But the tour that they did earlier this year, they played American Idiot and Dookie in their entirety. So like that was amazing, getting to hear like What's Her Name and Extraordinary Girl, like songs that they don't play live, hearing it live. That was amazing. Really cool. But yeah, they went through the whole album.
Okay.
So they even had Trey Cool like coming out in a dressing gown doing the like bonus track to Dookie. Oh, it was so good. It was really good. It was really funny. Hopefully someone's listening to this who is there going, yeah, it was so good with me.
No one's listening to this.
Is that the
just your nan?
Oh, wait a minute. The one about Trey Cool. That's the song about masturbating, isn't it?
Yeah. He came on in a dressing gown.
Pervert.
Yeah, he was talking about recently. In real life, he was hungover at. I could get this wrong. I can't remember if it's at his house or
P. Diddy's house
or a girl's house. But he woke up in someone's house or his house. I can't remember. After a night of drinking, and he had. I can't believe I'm saying this out loud. He had the girl's pants over his face.
Sounds good banging night out.
And he was masturbating.
Oh.
And when he finished and took the pants off his face, the girl's mother had put down breakfast on the bed next to him. So she'd been in.
Kev, you could always call out the Zorro, couldn't you? Mask on, sword in hand, the Zorro.
He was doing a Zorro, and the girlfriend or one night stand person, mother, put food on the bed next to him. So he woke. He finished his and there was food.
And he got bacon. Sweet, great night out.
Yeah, a lot of people would be traumatized. He probably went sweet. That's pretty. I'd say my 2 favorite.
His mother became Myra Hindley, so.
But my 2 favorite albums of Green Day, I'd say Insomniac and Nimrod. I think they're my favorites. Personally. Do you have a favorite, James?
I'm not a big Green Day guy. I don't know.
You're a Blink.
So I don't know. I couldn't name a single album.
You're a Blink guy? You're not into punk at all?
I'll say yes and no. Funnily enough, when if you can Google when Take Off Your Pants and Trousers came out.
Yeah.
I went and bought that from the Asda up the road from my nan's house when I came back to England one time. It was a cardboard sleeve that opened in like a few different ways.
Yep.
And it had the 4 circles. I'm going to say I was probably in Germany at the time. So I'm going to say 2000 and... Give me a second. 4, 5, 6. 1996?
No. Miles
No?
away. Well, I was in college when I bought the what's the big one? Enema of the State. I was in college then.
When was Take Off Your Pants and Trousers?
That was after, because I was in college in 1999, and Take Off Your Pants and Trousers was 3 months to the day almost, 1 day off, 3 months before Twin Towers.
Oh, so 2001.
So June.
Okay, well, maybe I already lived in England at that time. But yeah, that was the first punk-y kind of thing I did. Like I said, my first non-commercial album I bought was Jagged Little Pill. Back in the early 90s. But yeah, I kind of dabbled. I was more into like rap music, like Tupac. Really big Tupac fan. Like when I was a kid. Really big.
Bringing it back to P. Diddy.
No, I'm just saying really big Tupac fan. Like loved it. And then got into rock music when I was probably a little bit more of a teen. Then a whole new metal era came about with Limp Bizkit, Papa Roach, all that sort of stuff. And it kind of edged you into the whole
it's like
rock stuff, didn't it?
Yeah. Well, what Eleanor? What brought you into that sort of music? Did you ever be into like Paramore was big as well, of that sort of genre? What changed? Because I can imagine, like even us, like growing up, no one taught us metal or heavy music. It was Oasis and Blur, and someone had to introduce metal. You couldn't find it naturally, so I assume you're into whatever pop was around at the time. Who was it that said, "Oh, listen to this band," and it took you on a different trajectory?
It was actually on TV. Do you know, like it was a love at first sight moment, because prior to discovering Green Day, I was like a Busted fan. So it was the whole like, oh, I like guys with guitars kind of thing. But then it was, you know, when I mean, I don't know if they still do it because I don't watch TV, but they used to have like music channels where it would just play like back to back music videos of what was like in the charts currently. Yeah, it was actually American Idiot the song, not the album, the actual song that came on, and I was like, I was like love at first sight. I was like, I'm in love, and that started an obsession with Billie Joe Armstrong. Like I was 10, 11, and I'm 20 years. So yeah, I'd have been 10 years old, and absolutely all over my pencil cases, I was like, I love Billie Joe Armstrong everywhere. Like I'd just go and find pictures of him on the internet. I was obsessed with him, and it all started. Have you seen the music video though? It is so cool. And
I was going to say, was it the music video? Because it's that green paint over the flag.
Yeah,
I think even
great video.
Yeah, I don't think I was really into it at the time because I'd had my Green Day moment, and I'd gone on to like when that came out, I was probably into Slipknot and heavier. So
it's another video though where it's like filmed at a weird shutter speed, so it speeds up and slows down at different points.
Yeah, the video.
So they go really quick, really slow, sort of thing.
Fantastic! I think it's great.
Whether you like the band or not, that video was incredible. We watched it video because I think that was the time when I used to go around my mate's house because my mate had like Sky. I didn't have anything. We had channel 1 to 4, but my mate's house had Sky TV where you could watch Kerrang and Scuzz, and none of those things exist anymore. And MTV, when it used to play music videos, like just sit around all day and watching that stuff. So yeah, fucking cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, my dog just barked, I think. Like a woof.
What did you look up for? How tall's your dog?
Barney.
Sorry, my horse just neighed. Like,
I was just trying to hear where it came from because all my windows and doors are shut.
How big's your room?
It's outside.
You hear where it came from.
Anyway. All right. Unbelievable. Oh,
your dog's behind you or next to you. They're the only 2 options.
No, he's not here. He's outside. But
You're not living in the fucking labyrinth, David Bowie.
There's another room, and it's downstairs. All right, David Bowie. I can hear him again. Well, it's one of those barks. It's all right. Sadie's downstairs. She'll notice. You know how if you have a dog, you can tell different barks mean different things. So one's like a hello woof, one's chasing a cat woof, and then that woof is the panic. I can't get in the house, so I know what's going to happen. At our cat flat, we've got a big cat, it's a dog flat technically because our dog's small, Cavalier King Charles. So the dog comes in and out of the cat flat. So he can go into the toilet on his own, but the cat will be sitting indoors at the cat flap looking out, so the dog will be barking because he can't get in. That's what will be happening. How exciting was that story?
Grade A.
Again.
Yeah. Great. See, he's doing it again. He's doing it again. So I can hear bangings. That's Sadie moving and going again. There we go. Oh, didn't press the mute quick enough. Eleanor, why aren't you coming to the gig next month? You annoyed me. I thought you'd come to the gig. Sleep Token.
I'm sorry.
You're in the group chat and you don't come.
I haven't listened to Sleep Token. Sleep Token? Is that who you were saying? I haven't ever they haven't ever found their way into my Spotify library before. So
I thought you'd just come anyway. It's like not heavy, but it's heavy.
Don't guilt trip me. I'm sure it'll be very good.
Everyone in the group chat would be just like, yeah, we'll go to that one, we'll go to that one. No, rubbish. Never mind. What's the next gig you got coming up? Have you got anything coming up?
No, I've not, unfortunately. Saeed actually messaged me like a couple of months ago saying if I wanted his Blink tickets because he was selling them. But I was in Cyprus for it. So I am desperate to see Blink live if another opportunity arises. But yeah, there's nothing on the horizon. I wasn't really that bothered about Oasis, to be honest. It's a bit much of a hype for me. So yeah, there's nothing.
Let me just check my messages because Saeed messaged you about a Blink-182 ticket, and let me have a look. Oh, one of my best friends didn't message me about a Blink ticket, but he messaged you. Unbelievable.
Oh, I just landed in a minute. Saeed, I am so sorry.
I'm going to give him shit later, yeah.
I'm so sorry.
I'd have gone to see that. Where was that? Was that in London?
I've landed in a minute. I always do this. No, it was Glasgow, so you've had to go quite far.
Oh, shit. Yes, no. I remember, actually. I don't know if he messaged... Right, do you want to know what happened to him? James will like this as well, so right. So they couldn't get tickets for the London show for Blink-182. They managed to get the Glasgow ones. So they flew from London to Glasgow to go and see Blink-182. They flew the day before so they can have a night out and then go see Blink-182 the next day.
I know this story.
And that was the gig they cancelled because Travis was ill. So they flew all that way, spend all that money on aeroplanes, hotels, drink, and they didn't get to see the gig. And he messaged me about it when he was there, saying they fucking cancelled on the day. So it was like 10 a.m. and they'd cancelled and they were fucked. So I was Googling places in Glasgow. Excuse me. Trying to find them like some good rock bars because I know a couple near the train station. I was like, go there, it'll be good fun. And then I found a Blink-182 tribute act playing at the local metal bar called the Cat House. I was like, go there. They're playing a Blink-182 tribute. You would still have fun. And they queued up and they didn't get in.
Oh. So a bit of a wasted trip for them, really.
I'm sure they had fun, but they didn't have Blink-182 fun. So they went to the rock bar I recommended, but they didn't get to see the live band. But apparently they're playing a lot of Blink in there anyway, so but not quite the same.
No, it's not, is it?
But good fun. So you're lucky you didn't accept those tickets, that's for sure. But I'll let you know if we have anything else. I can't think of anything else that's happening in the near future, but if you're still up for coming to it, it's always good fun when you're there.
Thank you.
Right, we've probably taken up loads of your time. We've been on for like 2 hours, guys.
Wow. Kev, you talk, don't you?
Me?
Yeah. Jesus. I mean, guys.
Thanks. Anything else you want to say, James, before we go?
Love you.
Oh, that's the nicest thing you've ever said. Eleanor, anything you want to discuss before we go?
No, that's me done, I think.
Put you on the spot there.
She's like, no, fuck off. Jesus Christ.
Can we leave? I've been like a hostage for 2 hours. Can we go, please? Right. I'm going to...
She's being treated well. We'll let her go once our demands are met.
I'm going to press stop, but don't go anywhere yet because it takes a minute to upload. I need to find a way of telling people this before we end because we've got it on the end of all our guest episodes. It sounds really shit. We have to cut it out. Anyway, don't go anywhere, but we really do appreciate you coming on. And Drew's gutted that he couldn't join us.
No, he's not. He doesn't care. He's out gallivanting around, pretending he doesn't have Wi-Fi.
He's just right. Our other podcast guy, he is just moved from Hampshire to Brighton.
And Brighton doesn't have Wi-Fi, apparently.
They just don't. He booked it 2 weeks in advance.
They have Guy-Fi, but not Wi-Fi.
They have what?
Guy-Fi.
That's a really bad gay joke. Yeah, it's like taking 2 weeks to get Wi-Fi in. And I said to him, all right, well, at least you're getting in tomorrow. This is today. And he goes, no, they pushed it back another week. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? So yeah, next week might be a bit shoddy as well. Anyway, that's logistics. Thank you very much, Eleanor. We do appreciate you coming on. That was a joy. Thank you very much.
This has been Rage Whale. Thanks for hanging out with us. We hope you had a whale of a time.